Yeah.
Welcome to Around Town with today's guest, Chantel Toles, President, Delaware Chapter of the National Association of Women Business Owners, LaDonna Graham, noted chemist and business owner of Body Wisdom Wellness, Shanette Beasley, Community Ambassador for the Inspired Network, and Wendy Scott, television host, model, and recording star. I'm Richard Blackwell, and now here are your hosts, Tanya Bain and Elizabeth Perkins.
Thank you, Richard, for that great opening. We are back again.
We're back again. I'm excited, girl.
Yes, we have some great guests for you tonight, and our first guest that we're opening up with is
LaDonna Graham from Body Wisdom DNA. Did I say that right?
Well, it's Body Wisdom Wellness. Yes, so very close, but it was perfect.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you for inviting me.
You're
Thank you, thank you. So LaDonna, you've been a guest on the show with me before, and I felt like we didn't get the opportunity to really give you an opportunity to talk about what it is that you do and why you do it. You know, give us a little bit first about, you know, your backgrounds.
Okay, wonderful. I would love to tell you about my background. I am a chemist. I've been working in the natural health food industry for over 15 years.
Wow.
From pharmaceuticals, food, making medicine, animal research, and I'm also a published author of 4 publications about environmental toxicity, ovarian cancer, even exercise science like VO2 max and all that nature. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Very exciting work. I'm very proud of that work. And that work even followed me today. That's how that's one of the reasons why I opened Body Wisdom Wellness, is because that research that I've done then actually answers to the problems that we have right now with women with hormone imbalances, trouble losing weight, individuals who want to get off medication, want to live a more healthy lifestyle. They just want some answers, and I'm able to provide those answers from a more of a scientific point of view through, you know, diagnostic testing, through DNA testing, different type of analysis, and so far been able to get some great results for a lot of people. So it's been a wonderful ride.
So let me ask you, excuse me, let me ask you, they say like just a drop of your blood can tell a lot about a person. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely. From your cholesterol levels to if there's parasites in your body, yes, your DNA can tell lots of things. I can sketch a program for you based off of that. I can customize things from you based off your DNA.
Oh,
so
wow.
yes, it says a whole lot. That's why a lot of police, you know, when they do crime files and her analysis, yes, I can do lots of things with just a simple drop of blood.
So these are like swabs, like you can swab your mouth, you can tell something, you can a drop of blood. So why, and this is probably just like off your topic,
Yes.
but why is, like, if I go to the hospital, they need like vials. What's that all
Those
about?
long tubes,
yeah, they
right?
need
The
like
long
6 or
test
7
tubes.
of them.
Well, because they run different tests.
Okay.
Lots of tests. So you might come in and they want to, if you give them a approval, HIV test, all those, you know, HPV, you know,
Okay.
any of those tests. say that you have some health conditions that you came in through the ER and they need to figure it out. That's one way that they use to figure out what is going on with you right away. Plus, they look at your body pH, your blood pH, because it has to stay in a certain range. We can also look at to see if there's certain antibodies. The count of antibodies or the count of white blood cells can indicate a way a physician or a health professional would make a decision on what they need to do with you next.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of things. Lots of things.
Well, tell me the pH balance. What is that? What is the pH balance?
Well, your pH it determines lots of things. We use pH not only for the body but for environmental things, or we use pH to make products like chemicals or drinks or sodas or food or any of those things. So, so there's a certain range that your pH should be in for your body. So blood should be between 3.45 to 4.45. That range, if it's outside, whether it's below or above, that can indicate different things.
Okay.
So for just a simple test, if people want to take their pH and they want to say their urine pH, so the pH scale is from 0 to 14 and 7 is neutral.
Okay.
But if they go below too far, that's more of an acidic range. Anything below 7 is acidic. Anything way above 7 towards 14 is alkaline.
Okay.
And so if the body is in, say, they took a blood sample and it's 3, well, that's highly acidic.
Okay.
And that's where disease actually lives.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's one indication. Then they can do further tests. They can start ordering other tests from there. They can also see your white blood cell count. It's probably extremely high at that level.
Okay.
And so they make other decisions off of that. So it's very important. That's probably the first thing that they always do. And so they need the amount of blood just to do all the tests, because you just don't know.
Right.
What's the next step? You know, like somebody have meningitis or any of those major things, they need to know right away what they need to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you use that information in your practice?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great question, and I love to answer that. So when I look at your urine sample or your saliva sample or your blood sample, we're actually looking at different markers. I look at 23 markers for DNA, and that can help me determine how your body is metabolizing food, how you are dealing with certain issues, environmental issues. Some of it goes towards your background genetically of how things, and I look at all those things to determine how I'm going to customize your program for you. You know, how you breathe, you know, all those things. So say for instance, I have someone that comes in, say I don't know, but I know that they have high blood pressure. Their DNA, you know, I'm looking at different things as far as their body pH. I'm looking at the test to go through all those markers. If they have high blood pressure, I'm probably looking at swelling and things of that nature in the blood. Not necessarily swelling, but proteins, high number of proteins, uric acid. There's different things that I'm looking for, and that helps me determine which route I'm going to take with them and for us customizing their plan for them.
So how do you then plan to counterbalance that or get people back, I guess you would call it in alignment?
Everyone wants to be in alignment, right?
Yes.
They come to me because they are out of alignment. Once I study their blood or their saliva, and I determine based off also what they tell me, I map a picture, I map a plan from them from there. So if I look at their background and I determine, depending on, like, say, high blood pressure, if it's at a certain level, if it's, you know, 120 over 80 is normal range. So if they're like 145, 150, some people in that really bad stage, they're probably still taking medication. I have to take that in consideration. And so I map it so that they can still coincide with the medication that they're taking, so it can help them reduce it. And with that, the healing process starts.
Right.
So as they are following the menu plan that I'm giving them, plus taking the supplement that I suggest that they take, and we start seeing numbers decline because they have to show me their weight as they go for the weight, as far as the weight loss program. So if they are on just a specific program, not weight loss, then I customize a program for, say, Lyme's disease.
Okay.
So I have clients that come in for Lyme, and that is something really challenging for a lot of health professionals to help with people. So I help them manage it better, and so they're able to have more mobility, sleep better, their focus is better, and they say they haven't done it in a long time, so it's great to get those results for people.
Right. So do you work with people that say have something like eczema?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I used to have eczema. That's a great, I even
like to say
almost
used to have.
specialize because there's no signs of it.
Beautiful.
I can't say I can cure anything because I'm not a doctor.
Right.
However, I can definitely help you manage that very well, without a doubt.
Okay. That's awesome.
Actually, that is connected to the digestive system of why that flakiness is happening on the skin. There is, they're missing the intrinsic factor from my standpoint in my research. So they're missing the intrinsic factor. They're not able to produce B12 in an adequate amount. They don't have enough iron on the blood, and then therefore the body can't metabolize that food, so it becomes an irritation. So that's why they're more so allergic to citrus, milk, and all those other things.
Okay.
So where can we learn some more information about what you do?
Well, wonderful. You can visit my website. It is www.bodywisdomwellnessdna.com. I'm also located in Smyrna, Delaware at 1000 Smyrna Clayton Boulevard, Suite 3 in Smyrna, Delaware. And you can also visit my Facebook page, which is Body Wisdom DNA. And there I put up lots of things about different topics that people can relate to.
And are you having an event coming up?
I am. I do a lot of speaking engagements, but we're having one at the office at 1000 Smyrna Clayton Boulevard on June the 23rd, which we will be talking about women's health issues, which is my my love, because that's one of my research projects that I've done.
Okay.
It's on ovarian cancer. So we'll be giving out, talking about products that can support women and they have low libido, abnormal cycles, those things, imbalance of hormones, which a lot of women have, menopause.
Right.
So those would be great topics to help people manage those, or help women manage those. If they haven't had a solution, I definitely could say I have a solution for them.
And what time does that start?
It starts at 2 o'clock and it ends at 4, or if the crowd wants to go longer, we're able to go longer. But from 2 to 4 is the time.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Excellent, excellent.
I hope to see you guys there.
I'll be there. Come on, Elizabeth.
I gotta look at my itinerary.
I know she's a very busy woman, but we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will have some information. Even if individuals cannot attend, they can actually go on the page, and we'll probably have some snippets of things that they can relate to ask questions.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming to the show, LaDonna.
Yes, thank
It's
you for
always
having
a
me.
pleasure.
Yes.
And we are going to go to commercial and be
Yes.
right back.
So we'll be right back with the health and wellness segment with my special guest today, Miss Shanette Beasley from Inspire Network. So stay tuned, don't go away. We will be right back. Thank you. Welcome, welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. So we are about to start our health and wellness segment of the Around Town show. And today I have with me my very special guest, Shanette Beasley. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here with you today.
All right, great. You know, I love working with you. So, you know, I'm going to share with the audience a little bit about why, about today's topic. I was doing, actually, Shanette and I, you know, are business partners in a similar company. And one of the issues that we address is about the toxic, you know, chemicals that are on the market today. And in doing the research, I found that particularly in the state of Delaware, we are so impacted by the toxicity all around us, you know, in the air and the things that we eat, in the chemicals that we use in our home. And that prompted me to do a little bit of research and ask Shanette to join me in doing that, because I kind of call her the doctor as well. And so we're going to talk about, you know, about the toxins that are found in a variety of situations. There are 4 particular issues that I want to address. Sometimes we feel like we don't have control over what it is that, you know, is going on in our environment or in our world. But these are particular issues that we can do something about. So we're going to share those with you. So there are 4 particular issues that we, you know, particularly women, or really anyone can, you know, be aware of. And the first one has to do with safe cleaning products. You know, very often we'll go to the store and we'll look on the back of a can, right? And we'll say, oh, okay, you know, I don't want to have too much sugar in what it is that I eat, right?
Right.
But the same thing applies with the products that we use in our home. And the research that I did is that, you know, there are certain chemicals in cleaning products that have been linked particularly to fertility issues that cause allergies, and that are very difficult to remove. So sometimes we might be wiping the counter off, right? Mm-hmm. And we think we've got it all taken care of, and then, you know, we'll come and we'll serve our dinner. But there very well may be some toxic chemicals that we've left on the counter.
Right.
Okay, so, you know, we need to be aware of what it is that we're buying, and the level of toxicity that might be in the cleaning products that, that we're using. What that also means is that the companies know.
Of course they do.
And they're not informing us.
Not at all.
I wonder why that is. Because they don't have to. Okay, many of those ingredients, many of those companies do not have, are not required by law to let us know what chemicals are in the cleaning products that we have. There's also something else going on, okay? Someplace that I go to regularly.
Okay. All right.
The hair salon,
Yes.
all right, and the nail salon. And this impacts not only the clients, but the employees as well. Did you know that?
Absolutely. I always smell the chemicals in the air when getting either hair done or the nails done. In some places, you know, they wear the mask, but I don't know how much that is protecting them.
Right. And you would think that we would think twice about what we were doing or why
Right.
when somebody was wearing a mask. So in that particular realm, the salon workers, many of the salon workers are women, okay? And so the people who go, the clients, for the majority are women. And as a result of that, we may be harming ourselves, okay?
Right.
Or at least we need to be aware, okay, of what it is that, you know, we're being exposed to. So the chemicals can be dangerous, not only for the person right now, but like what happens when we're around a chemical for an extended period of time?
Right, those long-term effects. That's definitely what we should be thinking about.
The long-term effects, because that's absorbed in our system, okay, and could be passed on, you know, I mean, if you're of childbearing age, so, you know, the possibilities exist there. And Shanette, you were going to share a lot from your experience with the products that you highlight about, you know, some feminine related issues that we need to be aware of.
Yes, yes. I wanted to talk about the feminine care products, or what they call the hygiene products that are available for us to purchase in the stores today.
Okay.
So I've done some research as well, and what the research shows is that many of today's feminine products contain a host of chemicals that may cause cancers, they disrupt hormones, and cause unnecessary allergic reactions. So some of these products include pads, tampons, douches, sprays, washers, and feminine wipes. Now, the industry will tell us that we need these to feel fresh and to feel healthy, but in actuality, a lot of these products are not necessary to have a healthy vaginal area. But I wanted to let you know that 70% of women in the U.S. are using tampons. Between 20 and 50% of the women that are using the other products, we're showing higher rates in communities such as the African American community, the Latino community, and our low income communities. So we're being exposed at a greater rate than many other women. But the products, they contain many ingredients such as spermicides, dyes, fragrances, preservatives, and other byproducts that are caused by the bleaching process. None of these toxic chemicals should be in any type of feminine hygiene product, period. But what I want you to know is that these products are coming in contact with our most absorptive skin on a woman's bodies. And some of these toxic chemicals may or may not be listed as ingredients on these products. It even goes to our fragrance ingredients. That's right, I'm talking about our perfumes. Many fragrance ingredients are made with synthetic chemicals that can cause skin and eye irritations. They can cause hormone imbalances, increased risk of breast cancer. Also in my research, I found that there are very few regulations around the fragrance industry. And studies are showing that phthalates, carcinogens, and allergens are present in these fragrances.
Wow.
And they're used in products from our cleaners all the way up to our tampons. So due to the industry's marketing, many people believe that these products are necessary must-haves, right, for both their health and their self-image. But what we are unaware of is that the fragrance industry is self-regulating.
Wow.
And they're green lighting many of the chemicals that they're using that reputable government agencies have actually banned or deemed as hazardous. There's over 3,000 chemicals that is being used in the fragrance industry. And little did we know that we were exposing ourselves to them every time that we're using these products. So I definitely wanted to share just some tips or ways to avoid these chemicals in our feminine products as well as the fragrance. So we want to reduce our use of feminine products that are not medically necessary for a healthy vagina.
Perfect, yeah.
We want to choose unscented and non-chlorine products. We want to switch brands that are causing us to have irritations and rashes. You know, some people will continue to use them because it's popular, but if it's causing you irritations, it's not something that should be used. And we also can report our symptoms to the company and the FDA by calling 1-800-332-1088. And I think you have some information that you wanted to share as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I've got you on the show, because, you know, we began doing this and doing the research and our eyes were just opened. And that's something, you know, that I feel good about accomplishing, you know, on this segment and on this show. So the question is, so what, now what? What is it that we can do? You gave the number that they can call, but there's some specific actions that we looked at taking, you know, to make some of the changes. The first thing is to contact your representative. Okay, legislation is pending in many areas, in many states, where we can, you know, with our voice and with our vote, we can make a difference. In addition to that, you know, you want to take advantage of the public agencies that are advocating for change in this regard. You know, you can, you know, just find those. They're public meetings that are being held. You can also tell the companies that, you know, you need to know what the products are that they have in there, and you also want to have access to the testing and the results, you know, because this is life-changing. And we have control over what it is that we choose to do. All right, so you want to make the informed, educated, healthy choices for yourself and for your family. You know, there's so many times that, you know, with all the things that are happening in the world, and I'll tell you, sometimes I feel like I don't have control.
Right.
You know, things are happening and they're going on in the government and I don't have control, but truly I do. Mm-hmm. You know, you're now informed. And we can make those necessary choices. Right. We can continue to speak up about it. Do your own research and make sure that you understand what it is that you are using. We can no longer sit back and allow ourselves to be taken advantage of. You know, there's so many things that we can do, and I'm going to urge each and every one of you to begin to take action. You know, there's action that can be taken. I mean, it's as simple as Googling something, you know, on the internet to find out the information. You can reach out to us here at the program, okay, Around Town with Elizabeth Perkins. You can also go to my website. I'm under Inspire You Now. All right, and I keep information there as well. And what really alarms me is what you said. There's a disproportionate use and exposure to our minorities and people who are not in a position to do that. So thank you for paying attention and tuning in. Thank you, Shanette, for being a guest. I can't wait to have you back. And stay tuned. We're coming back again with Around Town with Elizabeth Perkins and our next special guest, Chantel Tolles. Thank you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And we have our next guest, Ms. Chantal. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm really
Yes.
excited to be here.
Now, share with us what you do, Chantal.
Well, I own Creative Business Assistants, which is
Okay.
a national provider of business formation services
Okay.
and virtual business support and legal support services.
Okay.
So we work with entrepreneurs and help them get started, and work with law firms providing outsourced solutions.
Okay. Wow. So when you say law firms, you work with different lawyers and
Yes.
getting cases together?
Yeah, so what we do is, well, we have a niche of working with law firms, obviously, because we incorporate businesses. We provide outsourced services to corporate attorneys who have clients that need to be incorporated, so we handle all the paperwork for their clients.
Okay.
But within the law firms, we have a sub-niche where we provide services to personal injury attorneys that handle what are considered mass tort cases, class action cases.
Okay.
So an example of that would be, I don't know if you've seen recently on the news the case against Johnson & Johnson, where women have claimed that
Yes.
they've gotten ovarian cancer from the use of talcum powder.
Right.
So, for example, if a client calls into one of those firms, states that they've been injured, we will then call the client, collect all of their data, so that then the law firms can move forward and obtain all their medical records.
Okay.
And then we actually work with some law firms where we handle the entire medical records process for them, which includes submitting the request for the records to the doctors who they've seen, the hospitals where they've had surgeries, the health information management companies, and then we'll submit the request for the medical records. And that can be a long and tedious process, a lot of follow-up. Sometimes a client will say, okay, they've been to this doctor when actually they've been to another doctor, so then you have to go back to the drawing board and reorder the medical records. So we just help in those sorts of ways by providing a virtual extension to their law firms.
Okay, wow. So you do a lot of like the let me say it right. You do like a lot of oh my God, paralegal stuff.
So I would consider it legal assistance services. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. So when you say outsourced services, what does that mean?
That basically means that we're not in their actual space.
Okay.
That basically we just take that on and it's outsourced to our company.
Okay.
And we're still an extension of their law firm, but we're just working where we are virtually.
Right. So you work with an extensive panel of different lawyers all around the
Yes.
city?
So we work with law firms across the country.
Okay.
Yeah. So from Houston, Texas, to Palo Alto, to Silicon Valley, to Kentucky, all across the country.
Oh, wow.
Wow. And how did you come up with the idea of doing that kind of business? I think
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Well, when I started my incorporation company, it was around the time when it was the 4-day work week and people were starting to work virtually. And as I was incorporating businesses, different clients would ask me, well, since you're virtual, can you do this type of service? And then I started networking with attorneys and they needed the service.
Okay.
And so it basically has grown from there.
How do they contact? How do they do that? Like, if I say per se had something and I wanted to contact you, how do you get in contact with you?
Well, I do a lot of marketing, a lot of networking, a lot of word of mouth. Most of the law firms that work with me have been, they kind of network with each other.
Okay.
So then if they need help, then they say, well, we have this company that works with us, and then they refer them to us.
Okay.
Excellent.
So it's really a lot of word of mouth,
Right.
getting out there content on our blog, talking about being outsourced, how we work with law firms,
Right.
so different things like that.
Okay, I did go to your website and I found excellent reviews about the work that that you do. And so when you say, word of mouth, I can attest to seeing the testimonials and the feedback that you've received about the work that you've done. So I was really excited to let our audience know about that as well. Something else that you do that I think is fantastic is that you are president of the National Association of Women Business Owners. Tell us a little bit about that and how that came about.
Well, the Delaware chapter, president of the Delaware chapter, and we're part of a national organization, and obviously the Delaware chapter, and we're the unified voice for women business owners in the state of Delaware. So just through networking and having different business mentors in Delaware, I became a member, and then when the opportunity fell on my lap really, they asked me to become the president. And so I've been the president for this year, and then I'm going into my second term, so I will be president through 2019. So NAWBO, what we do is we have an event every month, the first Friday of every month. It's called First Friday, where we are hosted by different venues across the state. Our June First Friday was held at the Newcastle County Chamber of Commerce, and we invited the Delaware Small Business Caucus to come and talk to us about the landscape in Delaware for women business owners. So we have different events like that. We usually have a presenter to come in and talk about business, whether it's sales, marketing, and employment, different things like that, different topics.
Right. So tell me about the kind of members, that you have. What kind of cross-section of businesses?
So we have a plethora of different types of members, from sole proprietors to people that are just starting out, to growing businesses, and we actually have members that have made the jump to over $1 million in revenue.
Wow.
And then we also we invite representatives of local businesses. Like, you don't necessarily have to be a women business owner, but if you represent a company and you're a woman, we invite you to come. And then we do have some men that come.
Wow, okay.
Awesome. The networking, so tell me about the networking opportunities that might come about, from that.
So actually, during our event, our First Friday event, the first half of the event is actually networking.
Okay.
Yeah, so where you can come and network and meet other women business owners and tell them about what it is that your company does, what you do, and just meet people. And so you can get in touch. And that's really the best way to have a business grow, is to make business relationships. That's where it starts.
Wow. So that, and do you have an event coming here?
We had our June 1st Friday.
Okay.
We're not going to have anything in July because we realize that's a big vacation time. So we'll start back up in August.
Okay.
And then actually next on the 18th, July 19th, excuse me, we will be participating in Advocacy Day in Washington, D.C. with NAWBO groups from across the country, where we'll actually go on Capitol Hill. And we will advocate for women business owners. We're going to meet with the Secretary of the Small Business Administration, Linda McMahon, and find out, nationally what's going on with women in business. And then we're also going to meet with our representatives in Washington and advocate for women business owners.
That's awesome.
As someone in both being a business owner and in an organization that supports business owners, just give me a tip, or just a word of advice, to business owners, whether they be men or women.
Okay, so I find that most entrepreneurs start for a plethora of different reasons, whether it's fulfilling their destiny, wanting flexibility, financial goals, but in most cases it's because they're passionate about what they want to bring to market. So it starts with passion, and then if you work hard enough, it'll lead to profit. But in between there, you have to have presence, which is where I talk about you really have to get out there and have meet people and let them know what it is that you do.
Okay.
Do you provide training? Are there opportunities for training, within that organization?
Yeah, well, during, like I said, the First Friday, we have different presenters come in and train on different topics. And we're also rolling out a mastermind group where women, if you're a member, if you join and you become a member, you can bring your business challenges to the table and we'll help you solve them as a group. So whether it's sales, marketing, hiring, getting past the gatekeeper to present your products to them, we really want to help you and help you grow.
Right. Let me ask you, because you do so much, how do somebody in each of these different arenas, how do they get in contact with you, or the what is that? How am I saying
National
it right?
organization.
NAWBO.
NAWBO.
Yes.
Yeah. How do they get in?
So for my business, I have a website which is cbadirect.com. It's
Okay.
www.cbadirect.com. You can send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Chantal at cbadirect.com. And then also on LinkedIn is a great way to connect with me, which is a great way for business owners to connect. And then NAWBO, which is NAWBO, Delaware spelled out, .org. So that's NAWBOdelaware.org.
Okay. Awesome.
How did you get interested? So, like, I'm just like want to dig deeper. How did you get interested in even wanting to start your own business? Because in my experience, often people will say, well, I have this idea, I don't know.
So on the incorporation side, I spent 26 years working for other companies and having the expertise that I really just had that little whisper in my ear in 2010 that it was time for me to go out on my own and provide the types of services that I felt that entrepreneurs needed,
Right.
which is really one-on-one services to help them decide what type of business structure they need to form, educating them on that, and then providing one-on-one services to them. And then also understanding the fact that, okay, you decided to become a corporation, now what? You still have requirements that you have to maintain to
Right.
stay in compliance,
Right.
to stay protected.
Right. So, what kind of, so let's say for young entrepreneurs that are starting, because, now we have a lot of young people that have online businesses,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How are they impacted, or what would be a benefit to them, in terms of what your exposure has been, or your organization's exposure?
Well, really, when I talk to groups about the incorporation process, it's really you decided to start a business, but you still have you have to separate it from you personally, which is really what incorporation does for you. So, God forbid if anyone ever was, even if you have an online business, if you're selling creams or whatever, you're still at risk. So once you become incorporated, it separates what you own personally from the business, that if, God forbid, there was some type of lawsuit, they
Right.
can't take what you have personally.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
So,
So regardless of where,
yeah.
if you have a brick or mortar online business, that's crucial.
Right. Wow.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you for coming on, Chantal. This was a bevy of information, and we are going to be right back with Wendy Sky.
Thank you.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We have Miss Wendy Sky. She is a TV host. She's a vocalist. She's multi-talented. She's amazing. And you were hosted in Vibe magazine.
Yes.
Fill us in, child.
Oh, my Lord, to the have mercy.
Yes.
Let me say, how y'all doing out there? I finally am here, sitting here with Elizabeth Perkins. What? All right.
Yes.
So, yeah, I had a journey.
Yes.
When I was a little girl, on my block, you wouldn't believe this, but it was on Temple Road in Mount Airy.
Okay.
Okay, and on my block, James from the Stylistics lived like 4 houses down.
Wow.
And then my dad was part of the original Delphonics. So music was everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Look, I'm so excited the earring coming on. It was everywhere.
Yes.
Okay, so when I was little, my dad used to play the stereo. Kids don't know about that.
No, they don't know
You know,
about
the stereo.
Yes.
And I just learned so many different styles of music, from rock to jazz to Steppenwolf.
Wow.
To Barry White, to Barry Manilow. I
Go,
mean, I
girl.
knew it all. I was in there having like a, you know what I mean? Like, whoa, which way do I go?
Okay.
Like that.
Yes.
So then as the years went by, my mom used to do, she was on the council, and she would shut the block down and do block parties, and she put on the Wiz.
Wow.
And that's when I found out, I said, oh my gosh, what is this thing in my throat?
What?
It was going crazy. She made me sing If You Believe. And she made me sing it.
Yes.
Listen, you got to hear this.
Tell me.
She made me sing it to my worst enemy on the block.
No.
Okay? You know how you had
Yes.
a bully on the block that's always
Yes.
poking at you and stuff? She said, you going to sing it to Teresa. I said, no.
Ooh.
But that's when we found out that it was something there.
Yeah.
And then my parents started to coach it.
Yeah.
And on Sundays, we would always have talent shows right in my living room.
Yes.
Invite everyone in the family. And that's basically where I got my, you know, my learning, my interest, and the feel of the different styles in music. And then as I got older, I actually went to Overbrook High.
Okay.
And when I went to Overbrook, I ended up being there with Jazzy Jeff, Will
Stop it.
Smith, child.
Girl.
Look, I didn't even know who they were back then. We wasn't nobodies. We
Right.
was running
Wow.
around there thinking we were something. Because it was a performing arts school.
Right.
And Damon Bennett, Dizzy Fingers, he did Jay-Z's, played the flute on Jay-Z's, just a bunch of talented people.
Right.
And I jumped into the performing arts, got into Miss Overbrook, had a ball. I was the only one singing a cappella. Everybody was like, you're crazy. I said, I'm going to do it. You know, just having fun.
Yes.
Fun.
Wow.
Yeah, and it just hasn't stopped.
You didn't-
My dad
Your dad sang
is
with
an
you.
original
Delphonic.
Delphonic.
Yes. Okay.
I'm his daughter.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes,
how?
yes.
So tell me about Vibe magazine.
Okay. All right. So I was on Deep Freeze Records.
Okay.
Which was attached to Busta Rhymes.
Okay.
And the Flip Mode. And that's kind of how that whole thing kind of took shape.
Okay.
Rampage took me under his wing. Do you know who Rampage is in the Flip Mode Squad?
Yes.
And I was doing some work in the studio with them. And when I was doing the work with them, that's when the camera crews came in and started filming us and
Right.
play. And I was doing some writing back then. So they
Okay.
focused because I was the only woman in there. I was like, hey,
Ah.
hey, what's
Right.
going on here?
Yes.
You know, and that's basically how that took place.
And now you got your own single out. You
Yes.
CD out.
Well, actually, I have 2
Okay.
albums. One is a 4-song signature, and the other one is 14 songs. I write all of my music. The only song that I redid was Hello Like Before.
Okay.
Bill Withers.
Right.
Oh my
Love
God, I
him.
love that song.
I'm walking around
And
the house singing him.
He's sexy.
Any girl.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I love Bill Withers. I'm sorry. He
Yes.
can sing all day.
Yeah. So
I
what?
love you,
Girl.
don't. Go
Yes.
ahead.
Don't take me back.
Oh, child.
We're going to talk after this soon.
Oh, yeah, girl, it's getting hot in here.
Yes.
Woo!
So tell me, what's the name of your CDs?
Oh, my first CD was called Sky's the Limit.
Okay.
And that was a CD that I did with Damon Bennett and Walla Wee, who both worked with Jill Scott,
Okay.
Kindred the Family Soul and Music. And the way that kind of came together was Damon Bennett was at Overbrook, but then when I started going to the Black Lily, my manager took me there and said, I think this is your scene. And I went, I don't know. And when I walked in, I went, he couldn't get me out of there.
Yeah.
And Kindred the Family Soul was performing.
Right.
And River was the announcer.
Right.
And I was singing in the background for somebody.
Yes.
And she was standing over here and she goes, she's looking at me.
Right.
So when it was over, she said, go get your own band and come on back here. This is crazy. What are you doing singing back there?
Right.
I said, really? And I came back
Oh my goodness.
with my band
And you
and
have
rocked it out and ended up recording, and Damon Bennett ended up being one of the producers
Yes.
that was there, and we re-linked up and things just kind of went on from there. The
Right.
Black Lily
Yeah.
was burned down. So Jill ran off, did her album,
Right.
Music did his, everybody went out there. I went underground. And I
Okay.
ended up on, before I went underground, Philly International
Okay.
and Deep Freeze Records.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot because you even got a talk
Child,
show.
Child.
Tell me about
Your
it.
show is hot. What is going
Girl,
on in here?
you here? That's why.
Oh, Lord. I got to do some Wendy Scott fanning over here.
So the name of your talk show is?
Wendy Sky, the Wendy Sky Show. It's been on since last year,
Okay.
and it's really, really taken off like a little
Yes,
rocket.
yes.
I basically focus on people who have underground talent,
Okay.
and then I bring my friends that have been in the industry there
Right.
too, and I let them connect.
Okay.
And that's a way for somebody that's underground to kind of come out. And that's
Okay.
personal. I do
Yeah.
that on purpose.
Okay.
I'm doing that because there were people who pulled me up.
Right.
And there was people that pushed me down.
Right.
But I wanted to have that forum for people that were knocking that
Right.
didn't have the money,
Right.
you know, $1 million to go drop at
Right.
whatever radio station and
Right.
go on the air.
Right.
So that's why I created that platform.
That is awesome.
Yeah, yep.
Look, we got to go.
Oh
But-
man!
Already, we
Okay,
having
I
fun.
gotta come back.
We
I'm
got to
sorry.
go. But
I gotta come back. Chill.
but we got we're gonna talk after
Woo.
this. But it was a great it was a great panel having you guys. I'm gonna tell you, I had fun this evening. We will see you again on the second Tuesday, you guys. And this is Elizabeth Perkins, and I'm gone, y'all.
Elizabeth.
You've been watching Around Town with Elizabeth Perkins and Tanya Banks. I'm Richard Blackwell, and be sure to watch our next episode of Around Town.